But a couple of little community schools right there with maybe, I don't know, some kind of parking lot. It's a bit weird having these like, you know, really nice looking buildings and then slapping a massive filthy parking lot next to it. But we would need parking here, right? We would need a serious amount of parking. I just don't think that's going to be the type of parking we do there. Let me just bring this like straight to the road. So just like that. Because then I can just put trees and stuff on that and it'll look fine. Community school's fine there. What else can we do? We've got the Institute of Creative Arts, which actually doesn't look so bad right there. I could take out a lot of those trees as well and almost like merge two of them together, but I don't think I'm going to do that either. I think what I'll do is just bring a road out and around that. And for whatever reason, this one can just be a one-way road, I guess. Doesn't really do any harm if it's a one-way road, so there we go. Got a little bit of room for parking behind it as well, which is, you know what? I wonder if I could get like enough public transport here that that like parking wouldn't necessarily be needed. Also, does that look okay? That actually does look okay. It looks like it's just sort of built in, which is fine by me. Although they're very close together. Although maybe that's two stations for two different areas for two different like purposes, you know? Maybe this one connects out to this part of the city, this one connects up there, whatever. I want those in there. Definitely want those in there. Now let's see, what else can we do? We are going to want some park space. I think like this area up here and probably this area down here are going to be park space. But I'm going to need faculty buildings as well. So let me grab all of this road. And let me say it needs to be that height. Oh, yikes, that's a bit high. Maybe not. Maybe a bit lower. Something a bit more like this. Either way, it needs to be the same level, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. It needs to be about the same level. And I do kind of want faculty buildings in here, so let me see what I can do. Let me just do a... Let me do a road there to start with. And I kind of need it to be the same height. Not the same height as these roads, just like I need it to be flat. Brought up a little bit. So something like that. That'll do. This can go and connect like oh, yikes. That is definitely going to be a no. That's going to be a no from me right there. So can I just do that, right? We might need to actually like move this whole thing around. I want this whole space to be... I want this whole space to look decent. I don't know how I'm going to do it. It's a bit of an awkward hill to work with, to be honest. Like, it's definitely not an ideal spot for this whole thing, because that's just hideous looking. So maybe take those roads out and just do faculty buildings on something like this. What size are these? They're so they go back by 5. So 5 and there. And I can actually like put these pretty close together. Although they look a bit weird when they're not close together. So let's just sort of space them out a little bit. We'll do a couple of these. I don't actually know what they do. University students who wish to specialize in certain areas go to these faculty buildings. Each building educates Sims in one subject like astronomy, arts, biology, or law. Students can pick and choose to go to one of these buildings or a main university, but each faculty building operates individually. Okay. So we could do... Well, we can't do that. I'll tell you what. Let's just move the faculty buildings and have just a, you know, a line of them here. So something like that. I'd like to be able to change the color of them. I think I have a mod that would let me do that. I should probably get that again at some point. But yeah, we'll do just like a line of the faculty buildings. We can grab that node and just drag it back a little bit to it there. Grab all of these. Make them all that height. And I guess bulldoze that road, drag it out to there a little bit, and make it the same height as well. So we have these faculty buildings. We can do something with those to make them a bit more interesting, I suppose. Can I do this? Technically, but we're not going to. Let me smooth that out then. So smooth that all slightly. I guess we should probably smooth this bit as well. Just slightly. And then this bit up here is kind of weird. It feels weirdly empty, which I don't really like. I wonder if there's any way I could, like, easily fix that. What if we did this? Maybe a little bit of road that comes down here and sort of curves over. So that comes down and sort of curves there. That actually kind of helps to fill it up a little bit. And then I guess we could use more high schools, right? Yeah, high school availability is pretty rough around here. So what if we just did like a line of those? So turn off grid snapping for a second, go to about there, and just do a line of high schools. Yes, it's the same building repeated over and over again, but it's kind of necessary. Like we do need more of them. So do that, drag this back to there. And then things like paths in here and things like just all sorts of things we can really use to make this area look better. Things like paths, things like trees, all that. Like we can make this area look better than it is right now. It's a bit messy, obviously cliffs and all that, but we can totally mask a lot of that. So I think that's what we're gonna have to get started with here. So let's get started. Let's get started in hiding our crimes. It's kind of what I do best in this series so far. So we're gonna go for grid snapping, and we're gonna start about here. Go straight to about that spot. And go straight to about that spot. And that'll do for the time being. These can just sort of curve around. And then get upgraded to the wide ones. And then with that whole thing, we can actually just drag this over to almost merge with the key. So it's kind of going to look like a lower tier, right? So it merges right at that join, which is kind of perfect actually. So it merges about there. You need to be about the same height, so just raise you. Oh, it's gonna be floating. That's fine. We can actually fix the floating, no problem. So let's do that, right? So the whole thing's floating a bit. That's fine. That's no big deal. We can totally hide that in just a second. I think if I just lower the whole thing, which might be tricky, or not. I thought it'd be tricky grabbing that node, but apparently not at all. Let's just lower that down. So it's all in the ground. I need to grab... Have I missed one? No, it's sticking to the ground in kind of a weird way there. Can I bring that all down properly? Even that looks okay, honestly. It just looks like a bit of a retaining wall to stop the, to stop, like, dirt and all that from falling down. I don't know, whatever from falling down the hill, right? That's kind of the idea. Let's lower this bit slightly, and then this bit can be lowered as well. In fact, maybe that bit should be brought up to the road. So up to about there, and I mean we can lower it right down, but that looks kind of silly. Unless this goes... Can I not drag you? There we go. So unless that goes there, in which case raise it to the height of the road, and the slope kind of follows nicely, almost. You know what? I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I don't know why this is all being weird, though. Like, the heights are all being a bit strange. It's mostly that corner as well. But, I think I'm going to do that. I think that's okay. So that kind of goes up and, like, borders that bit, right? Connects over to the key there, that's fine. This bit's just going to be left alone. This bit could honestly probably just be like fixed by doing that. Because I think we're at a spot where like this is quite steep, but it's kind of pre-existing and all that, so I can't really get rid of the road, so I'll just get rid of the extra connection there. So that's fine. I mean, this is already an exit. That's another entrance. We can just do like an exit over here instead. So have a way out like right there. So that'll like come out and do fine. Let's just start doing paths then. Let's figure out what we're doing with those, because I realize my little concrete walls are ever so slightly in the way of some paths, which is going to be great. I'm going to do ones without trees as well, because I think that's probably for the best. So let's have it come down and maybe just around the, oh, yikes, that's a bit rough. We'll figure that out in a second. So we'll have this come down, we'll have it sort of curve like that. And then we can just, I guess, lower this whole thing. Would that fix it? So yeah, just lower it behind the concrete wall and it's fine. So that's no big deal. Have that maybe, I don't know, connect something like this. Something like that. Like that's fixable. We can just drag the segment out a little bit to fix that. So like that, lower it quite considerably. Fix the segment so it comes in a little bit nicer. Bring you in a little bit closer. And lower it again. And that looks okay to me. I mean, this is a bit messy. It's a bit steep, but it's a path. It fills up the space. This is obviously still kind of ridiculous, but I think for the most part, this is honestly not too bad. Let's see if I can fix this. So that's going to need to be brought like properly close to the road. And then that needs straightened out a little bit. Is there a way I can get that to not be weird? Probably not, actually. Probably not. So let's maybe just run this path straight to, straight like that. No, that's not going to work either. Man, I wanted a path in here. Maybe we just do a park that has things that, like, lead places. Is that a thing I can do? Can I just put a path there and have, like, park buildings on it? It must be inside a park or on a roadside. Ugh. I don't really want it to be on a roadside. I want nice paths in there, man. Although I guess they've got like paths in all the roads and all that. I guess a path back here could work. Okay, this area is just going to be like trees and decorative stuff. Over here can be hopefully like a nice path back there. So something like this, right? This can come out. We can use road guidelines and connect those together. Or not. Distance too short, really? It's actually kind of surprising. But something like that, right? So that connects to the road in a pretty decent way. If perhaps well, that road's just a little steep. So that's a bit better. This whole area is awful. This whole area is really bad to build in. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I am kind of winging it, just in case it's not completely obvious. And by kind of, I mean completely. I'm completely winging it. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Which is fun. Totally fun. Totally not at all conscious of the fact that, you know, I've put 2,000 hours into this game and I have no idea what to do right now. Totally not at all conscious of that fact. Let me see. Can I smooth you at all? I guess a little bit. Well, we got a path, right? We got one. That's something. It's also all got water, which is great. So let's just start doing like fences and trees and all that kind of stuff. Osiris Mage 21 says college sports arena. I don't have anything that would look like a sports arena. I say that. I have like stadiums. We could do like there's like the base game. No, that's an opera house. There is a stadium in here somewhere, I think. Is that it? Yeah. Which I guess could work. Like throw the base game stadium in here. That could work. What else have we got? We have got some stuff in here. I don't think the semiconductor plant makes sense, but we got things like the Robotics Institute. I guess that could work. It's kind of a, you know, something to study. Research center. You know, I think the research center is actually kind of cool. What about throwing it over there? I actually like that a lot. I think that's actually a pretty cool place for the research center. Although, it'd be better the other way around, I think. So what if we had a little road that comes up here? So just off of there, up to, turn off grid and guidelines. Up to about there. Just bring that back slightly. But up to about there, grab those two nodes, flatten, and flip U. You know what? I actually really like that. Yeah, the building's a bit weird. Yeah, it's ever so slightly clipping the roads, but I think that's actually pretty cool looking. I actually quite like that. And we could even throw another high school down there, which is probably good because it means I can get rid of one of these, which I think honestly looks better. The fewer of these high schools that we have in like one place, the better, I think. But I like that a lot. I actually like that a lot. But I was looking for... There's something really specific I'm looking for here. And I don't remember what it is exactly. But there's like the nightclubs or something like that. This thing, the music club, could be kind of neat. The media broadcast building could actually be quite cool in here because it's technically like, you know, it could be like a media college, right? So I think like an old well, you know what? That actually looks really... That looks like it was built in like the 70s, right? Just glass everywhere. But I might throw that in there. Just because I think it would be there, honestly. I think you would have immediate, like as a, like a unit, you know what? You know what? Maybe not, actually. I think it's starting to look too busy. I think the whole thing's starting to look really busy, which I'm not really, not a huge fan of. Like if I put it, I obviously can't really put it there. I can't really put it there either. Yeah, I think that's too much. I think we just need to detail it with paths and with trees and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just, it's going to be too much if we go overboard with it. So up to there, we'll do a little path there. That's fine. Might actually extend that path just to the key there. I think that looks all right. So maybe just something a bit like that. That connects to the road, which is totally fine by me. Now we can do some decorative stuff in here, you know, trees and just everything, you know, trees, right? Decorative stuff, trees. That's decorative. We could do a big old parking lot over here as well, which I think one right there is all right. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then like some kind of park in here. So let's do a little path here. So there to there. Then just like fences and stuff around here, and that'll be done. We'll do that in like we'll do that, you know, shortly. I think the trees are going to be better to do right now. So let's go in here with some small ones. I think these ones are going to be perfect because they are like, you know, properly small little trees that can be dotted around there. I don't think... I mean, we have got... Well, you know what? These ones will actually work just fine too. So let's go about here. And up to about there. And I probably could just do this by hand, honestly. Let's just try and dot these sort of evenly apart from each other. And I think that actually looks all right. So just something around there. It kind of hides the concrete just a little bit. I don't know how, you know, natural that necessarily is, but it's fine. Over here, I'm not really sure what to do in that space yet, but I think all of this is going to need, this is all going to need keys and is all going to need just, you know, made to look a little bit less terrible, really. Because that big cliff is just, that cliff is really bugging me. It's really, really bugging me. So, we're going to need to do something about that. Let's see if I can actually do that real quick. Shouldn't be too hard, honestly. What option am I looking for here? Am I in the right one? I don't know what, my mind, yeah, I absolutely was. My mind was just like drawing a blank in where you get keys there. So let's see. I don't actually know how this is going to behave because there's no, like, distinct slope here. So this ought to be interesting. But we want to go to there and to about there. Alright, so that key is going to be the same height as that road. That's actually quite a nice slope. You are going to be the height of that road. You are going to be the height of that road. And you are actually pretty much fine. We'll just extend you up to the edge of the road there. Alright. So that gets extended there. That gets extended to there. And you know what? That actually doesn't look awful. Right? I don't think that looks awful. Then we could do like a path. There's some trees up there. And you know what? I think we will do trees up there. I think I'm gonna go for the big trees though. These ones right here. So if I start about there and go to, you know, about there. That's actually too much. I think those trees are too much. Maybe a bit further apart. Maybe a little closer together. I'm trying to get this just right. Like that's... We run the risk of like having it just be a bit too much there. I think that's all right. Yeah, just a few along there, so it's like... No. No, they are too big. They are definitely too big. We're gonna want to go for the smaller ones. Because these ones are just... They're the kind of tree that would have been around for like a really long time, so it doesn't make sense that they'd be like in that weird kind of spot. And they'd probably have been like... That kind of tree would also be totally killed during like the construction of that whole space, so... They would have totally just chopped them down, to be completely honest. So... Can I grab that? I absolutely can. That looks better to me. Yeah, that looks a lot better to me. Bit smaller, a bit lighter. And, yeah. I like it. I don't know what to do down here. Like, this whole bit here is quite nasty looking. I don't know if I want to do more trees on that, but that looks better. Let me see. I haven't run the simulation in a while either. We should probably do that in a second. Let's just smooth this out. Try and get it right. Smooth that all out. Try and get that all right. And... You know what? Let's just run the simulation, see what happens. Let's see what people do there. And see if people start, like, you know, coming into the area. In terms of buses, I think we're maybe going to want to go here and grab a new bus line. We do have some available. So from there, we are going to want to go, I think, just out to the university, right? Like, that's kind of where we're at here. So bring the bus out, have it stop there. Actually, oh, that's going to be a pain to do because that's the only exit. Interesting. I kind of don't want it to loop around twice. That seems like something you don't want. But I mean, that's the only way in and out. Tell you what, let's go there, there, and we'll go back. That's going to be temporary, though, don't worry. Because what I'm going to do, I think, is just change this into that road. And that should... I mean, that's a junction I don't really want. That's an absolute mess of a junction, but it means I can get in and out quite easy. Which is much better for the buses. Much, much better for the buses. So, let's have a look at our bus lines, because we are going to have one called, where is it? Bus line 23 is going to be City line 8. So, City line 8. And the color of that, if that one's like a light blue, it's going to be leaning in towards that, I think. Yeah, that seems about right. All right, that works. So that's going to be City Line 8. We actually need to go back to City Line 8 real quick because I want to make sure I've set the vehicles. Lion City 10. Interesting. Interesting choice. That's City Line 7. No wonder. So, select type. Let's go for whatever kind of holds like a small amount. So that's 45. That's fine. All right, so it's going to use the Lion City 10. Let me start removing vehicles from the line. And we'll start with we'll start with 8 vehicles and see how that goes. 8 might be enough. Might not be, but it might be. We'll see. And while they're doing all that, I guess we should start looking into how we're going to connect the metro as well. Because the metro, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I think this might not be a bad idea. I'm going to bring a bit off of here, right? So the line I'm looking at here, and I need guidelines. The line I'm looking at here is like our current looping one, right? What if like the blue one? Oh, cannot find path. Interesting. Can it not like come back? Oh, I guess it probably can't make that turn, can it? Okay. What if we did that, right? Can I have the blue one, like, come out? Yeah, so we can have the blue one come out and go back. So that blue line actually does go out to the university. That might not be a bad idea. I kind of like the red one to do the same, but the red one is going to be a bit more awkward than that. But I think that's pretty cool. So it goes straight out, then, you know, gets on with its line. Doesn't interrupt anything. This other station can wait for a bit. I kind of like that. I do kind of like that. Let me see. Do we have... Okay, we have got metro stations going under there. Can I do some parking lots in here? I actually totally can, but they are ever so slightly taken over by the terrain. Can I do like a big parking lot in there and have it not taken over by the terrain? I think I can get away with that. I think I can get away with that. I think that's okay. Because I can put stuff around that, hide my crimes, blah, 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 and I think it'll look fine. So smooth that all out. Obviously, the trains are kind of weird underneath there, but I think that's fine. I think that's okay. Let me just smooth out this terrain ever so slightly because I kind of have an idea. I wonder if I could hide this gap here completely. I kind of want to try that. So let me see if I was to use the narrow thing, turn off guidelines and go like this, right? Then from here, we want to go straight across. Height too high. Really? Interesting. Okay. That's fine. We can just go straight to there. We can bulldoze that bit. Then upgrade the whole thing. And that's actually not going to let me hide the hide the thing all that well, unfortunately. Would have been great if it did. But it doesn't really let me hide it too well. I mean, that looks okay if, you know, if only the shadows weren't there. So let's not bother with that. I think we're just gonna have to move the parking lot. That is a bit much. That is a bit much. Parking lot can go there. That's fine. You know, it's not in a ridiculous spot. This can be covered up. We can just do like a little path behind it to, you know, just make it look like you can drive back there. So boom. Road right there. That's not quite what I want. I want it to go there. So yeah, that'll do. That's our parking. We can put some trees in there and just make this whole area look kind of interesting. I almost like the idea of having it almost look a little bit overgrown. Like, not completely overgrown, but I like the idea of it looking a little bit like overgrown. I just think that's kind of cool. I think that could be interesting. So like, have that come down there. That's fine. We're gonna have to hide that slope. We are gonna have to hide that slope, or just move the path. I think moving the path is probably gonna be easier than hiding the slope. It's kind of obvious that there's a bit of a slope there. So let's have you connect there. Let me see. So something like that, right? So that goes quite nicely. That'll lead them down to that building. There's no way to really get, like, up here from this lower level without using the roads, which I don't really like, but whatever. It's fine. Let me just... Oh, I don't know what to do with this, like, outside area. I guess they can just leap, right? They can just be like, you know what? I'll land in the tree. Just jump, land in the tree, hope for the best. You know what I mean? Just, you know, just hope for the best. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. You've got enough stress to deal with in university. You don't need to stress about jumping off a, you know, 30-foot concrete wall. You know, you don't need to worry about it. Let me see. So this whole area here, I think this is actually going to have to be, like, zoned. I think we will just have to zone around this to, oh, the zoning's getting weird, though. I think we're going to have to zone around it just to fill it in properly. It is pretty good for zoning, honestly. So, like, that can go there. It's not going to be perfect, but it's pretty good. It's pretty close. So we could do like high-rise band offices on like the edge, right? Because everything in here is the university, but out here I think could just be like, you know, office zoning. I think it can be fairly generic, like office stuff around there. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying do dorms. Crazy Car Nugget says do housing as sort of dorms. We could, but Osiris Mage 21 says nightlife leisure, and that's actually a really good idea, because if we do this as a leisure district, these will actually be very small buildings. So if we do a little something like this, and actually set this as a leisure district, we'll get some proper small buildings in there, and I think up here we could do like offices. I know that was gonna be a park, actually. That's fine. But maybe just like a few offices like this or something, right? Just to fill up some space. Down here can be like, I don't know, parks, something like that. Maybe a little office there and there as well. Something like that. Maybe here too, actually. That's fine. So yeah, this can be just one big district, right? So we want to grab our brush. I think we're having a death wave. I think we might be about to dive into a death wave again, which is fantastic. My favorite thing in City Skylines. Right there, death waves. But let's just bring this all around like so. Go straight across, and once we get our zoning in here, we actually do have commercial demand as well, which is fantastic news because this area is going to look really good. I'm confident it's going to look fantastic. We can actually put the music club in here as well. That's nice. So we want leisure, and I think we'll do... I'm not going to do IT cluster. IT cluster would be kind of silly here, but we will do a high-rise ban, encourage biking, and old-time policy as well. So there we go. They'll start building all that up. And that'll hopefully look kind of neat. Hopefully. Definitely hopefully. I'm kind of actually curious to see what these buildings are going to look like. And I'm also thinking, actually, let's not do this. Let's take zoning off of those bits, right? I don't actually want the buildings to be like connect. So technically, right, so look at this. If we're gonna like have a story behind the town, look at this like a loophole, right? These buildings aren't technically part of the university of the college. They just happen to be built next to it, right? All these business owners just happen to build like nightclubs and all that next to the university. They, you know, it's just a coincidence that the university students get like, you know, discounts and all that. That's the way to look at this. It just happened. So let's go and turn off grid snapping. Let's go to there, and we'll go like that. We'll go down this way. Turn on grid snapping for a second, and turn it off again. So just sort of around like this, right? We'll have like the paths in the back. We could actually do parking lots in the back. Could do a bunch of parking lots, but now that I think about it, parking lots in this area, having fewer of them is probably going to be better. Because if we have loads of them, what's going to happen is we're going to have loads of tourism in an area that's already going to be like really busy. So we probably don't want a lot of tourism in an area that's going to be already quite, you know, busy. So we'll avoid that. And let me see, just bring that in a little bit. That actually looks all right. We can do the same over here with a little bit of grid snapping there. I think that's the wrong way around, actually. Where are the... yeah, that is the wrong way around. Okay. Bulldoze those. And go... like... oh, that's not going to work. Go like this. And go like this. The entire way across here. And we can just sort of connect those up like that. I actually kind of like that. I actually do kind of... oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? There we go. All right, so curve that out a little bit. Just bring this all in. We get the bonus lights around the roads as well, which I think will look pretty good at nighttime. Which I don't think have we recorded during nighttime at any point in this series yet? Because I've done it. I've shown like what the city looks like at night on the stream, but I don't think I've actually recorded it yet. We're definitely going to need to do that at some point. Definitely going to need to do that at some point. Let's see, just bring that around. We can just curve you a little bit. Bring you in slightly. Bring you to there. And curve you a little bit. There we go. That actually looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty cool. This bit up here, I think we can... oh, you know what? We can totally zone this again. And that bit too. Fantastic. Let's just throw some parking lots like here. Actually, no. No. We can just do a path the whole way around. We can just do a path the entire way around here. Although that's misbehaving quite a bit there. That's interesting. Can I get ground level, please? Apparently not. Great. Why are you elevated? I would quite like you to not be. I would really quite like you to not be elevated. Fortunately, this is actually going to help me out a lot. So so that's nice. Then this bit goes like that. That actually worked beautifully. That makes my life a lot easier. Bring you into there, and that whole bit's already not done, actually. Okay. Fair enough. We'll bring that down. We'll grab all of you. Dart the whole way across and down like that. Then this bit could probably just move slightly as well. All right, I actually really like that. Let's do some trees in the corners and let the whole thing just sort of open up and go crazy. I think that's our plan. We'll see what kind of buildings we end up with. We'll certainly see what kind of students we end up with. And I actually like that a lot. There we go. So just let this all build, basically. And like I said, none of the leisure buildings are actually attached directly to the university. They just happen to be next door. They just happen to be there. That's just a coincidence. It just happened. You know, it's not like they built them there to, you know, capitalize on the fact that the students might want to go out, you know, over the holidays and have a drink or two. It's nothing like that. It's just a coincidence. I am actually really interested to see. I mean, there's a couple of people waiting there already, which is nice. We actually have an I love that we have an RV around here already. Like, going to that parking lot. Fantastic. I love that he's keen. He's there. He's parked in that parking lot to visit that parking lot. I love that, man. I love that. Let me see. Can I just upgrade all of this? Because I realize I don't want people parking on the roads. Like, this road out here is kind of okay, but the roads that go sort of, you know, around the buildings, we probably don't want them parking on those. These roads, no parking. Probably no parking here either, since that's like a fairly, like, main road. And we could probably also get away with the just fixing that path ever so slightly. So right there, and we lost one right there as well. All right. So just connect you back up to the road and connect you back to about there. And we're sorted. I don't know why the buses are being like, hey, we can't get to where we're going. What's going on here? What are you doing? Because they shouldn't be having trouble with that. There you go, lads. All sorted. The buses are actually coming in down this way, which is a bit weird. Can I move that stop and have them both? Yeah. I kind of want them both, like, going, you know, through that entrance over there. So have them stop there instead. But I actually, I kind of like that. I kind of like this area. I think once it builds up, like once it has its border, I think it's going to look a bit better. Obviously a lot more trees to put in there. But I think it's going to look pretty cool. It's going to look a little bit less fancy than I wanted it to. That's for sure. Like, it's going to definitely look a little bit more grimy than I necessarily wanted it to. But that's kind of the charm. You know, I think that's kind of the charm. Music club. Can we place? Oh, dude, it fits perfectly in that corner. There we go. You know what? Can I put that elsewhere? Can I put it, like, right on the entrance? Absolutely. Oh, it looks terrible there, though, because of the slope. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep the music club. We're doing the music club right there. I think that looks all right. It looks all right. It's not perfect. It'll do, though. Can I fit a park in here? I can fit a plaza, but I'm looking specifically at you. Ooh, I could do it if I got rid of the path. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. We can maybe do a little path down the side there. Or dot more trees around it. That's definitely an option. So something like these, kind of along the side a little bit, just to blend it a bit more. So just a bit like that. Yeah, that looks all right to me. Yeah, that works. I think that's pretty good. Just need something in front of it, which actually, you know what we could totally do? We can totally go into the parks and get a cafe or something like that, like, you know, info booth, restrooms, little cafe. That could be kind of nice. There's something right there. Maybe not quite there, but, you know, here. Looks a bit weird, doesn't it? What about that way then? That's still a bit weird. Is there anywhere around here I can get? What about here? That's pretty bad, but not as bad. So I think I'm gonna allow that. It fills up this space, and I like that. That's kind of what we need. We need things to fill up this space. What is this? Info booth? Huh. Not really a lot else we could do there. I don't know. I think it's fine. I want to see how traffic flows, and I'll sort of detail the rest of that thing a little bit later on.